The man with golden eyes. He was old, ancient. His skin, the color of midnight, held the weight of centuries. But it was his eyes that captivated. Golden, like a predator's, they saw everything. They missed nothing. This was Xiketik, a name whispered in fear, a name synonymous with power. No one knew where he came from. Some said he was a spirit, others a demon. The truth was lost in time. He was a force of nature, unstoppable. And he was searching for an heir, someone to inherit his mantle, someone to continue his work. A child of the slums. The slums were a breeding ground for despair. Poverty clung to the air like a shroud. Amongst the squalor lived a boy, corrupted. His name was a cruel joke. He was innocent, uncorrupted by the darkness that surrounded him. Life had been unkind. He'd seen more pain than anyone should. His parents were gone, swallowed by the city. He survived by his wits, stealing scraps of food, finding shelter where he could. He was invisible, another forgotten soul, until Xiketik saw him. A fateful encounter. The alley was dark, reeking of garbage and decay. Corrupted huddled deeper into the shadows, trying to disappear. Then he saw them, those eyes, burning like embers in the darkness. He froze. "You have potential." Xiketik's voice was a low rasp, like dry leaves crunching underfoot. Corrupted didn't speak, he couldn't. Fear held him captive, but something in those eyes held a strange allure, a promise. He dared to meet Xiketik's gaze. He knew in that instant his life had changed. Under Xiketik's wing. Xiketik took him in, gave him food, shelter. For the first time, Corrupted had a roof over his head. More than that, he had purpose. Xiketik saw something in him, a spark, a raw power waiting to be unleashed. He would be his teacher, his guide. Corrupted was a quick study. He absorbed knowledge like a sponge. He learned of ancient rituals, of forgotten lore. He discovered a world hidden beneath the surface, a world of power and magic, and he was being groomed to control it. The shaping of a successor. The training was brutal, unforgiving. Xiketik pushed him to his limits, testing him, molding him. He taught him to fight, to defend himself, to channel the darkness that simmered within, but he also taught him control. Discipline. Years passed. Corrupted grew. The scrawny boy was gone. In his place stood a young man, strong, confident. His eyes, once filled with fear, now burned with the same golden fire as his master's. He was ready. The legacy continues. The day came when Xiketik could teach him no more. His time was ending. The transfer of power was a solemn affair, an ancient ritual. As darkness enveloped them, Xiketik looked upon his apprentice. Pride flickered in his golden eyes. "The legacy is yours now," Xiketik rasped, his voice fading. Corrupted stood tall, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. He was no longer just Corrupted. He was Xiketik's heir. The darkness was his to command, and he would use it for good or evil. Only time would tell. The legacy continued.